taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Russell Westbrook in there visiting his old team. Late in the first quarter, Lakers are up by 20. They're coasting, right? Westbrook drives, misses, gets his own rebound and finishes, doing it all. Lakers were up 72-56 at the break. Late in the third now, the Thunder making a push. They're down 7. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hits the triple. Thunder come all the way back from 26 down to lead by 2 after 3. Under 3 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Lakers down 7. Carmelo from Westbrook for the 3. Lakers within 4. Now we have 11 seconds to go in regulation. Thunder up 3 and inbounding the ball. Carmelo steals it, but he airballs the wide open 3 that could have tied it. Lakers down 5 now. Rondo to inbound the ball with 4 seconds left. Darius Bazley steals the ball, takes it the other way for a slam. This aggravates Russell Westbrook, who gets into it with some of the Thunder players, and he keeps going until eventually he gets ejected. An eventful return to Oklahoma City for Westbrook in every way, but not a successful one. Thunder win 123-115. The Lakers entered the game last night 230-0 over the last 25 seasons when leading by at least 25 points. Small sample size, I know, but still indicated they might win. That was the most wins without a loss in the NBA. As for the Thunder, it was their largest comeback win in the last 25 years. So here now with Tim Legler. Legs, I'm told you were underwhelmed with the Lakers' shot selection last night?
I would say it represents ineptitude, except that's insulting to ineptitude. what they did, because here's why. The obsession with the three-point shot. I think this is a microcosm of what's going on in the league. They had 3 opportunities. Now, I don't have as much of a problem with Melo's shot because of the timing. You know, it's late in the game. He's got a pretty clean look. Just the execution was horrendous. That's one of the worst shots you're ever going to see Carmelo Anthony take. But the first 2, and these are out of timeouts. You're down 3, and this is what you want. A Russell Westbrook pull-up 25-footer, and then this one actually is probably, of the 3, the one I have the biggest problem with. That looks like exactly what they wanted to get out of a timeout. Malik going one-on-one with a ton of time left to try to get to the rim. Maybe you cut it to 1. There's plenty of time. You can start playing the timeout game, the free throw game, put the pressure on the Thunder to go make it and extend the game. Instead, 3 consecutive possessions, they try to tie it in a game that you had a 25-point lead and you let it slip through your fingers. I just thought they panicked. They didn't show any poise. And I thought Frank Vogel, coming out of 2 timeouts, ending up with a Russell Westbrook pull-up 3 and a Malik Monk pull-up 3 with a ton of time left to try to attack the rim and see if you can make that a 1-point game. I just didn't understand it at all, their late-game execution.
So Lakers struggling early. Another team with a lot of big stars on it, the Brooklyn Nets, also struggling early. They were taking on the Miami Heat last night. 5 minutes left in the second quarter. We pick it up with the Nets down 9. Here comes James Harden. He's going to hit the 3 and get fouled. Maybe did he get fouled? But he was called a foul, and the Nets are down 5 after the free throw. 4 minutes left in the second. Nets down 5. Kevin Durant drives to the basket for the dunk. Nets now down 3. Under a minute left in the second quarter with the Nets down 1. Harden in transition, the alley-oop to Blake Griffin. Nets up 2 heading into the half. Early in the fourth, Heat up 4. Kyle Lowry to Bam Adebayo for the alley-oop. That puts the Heat up 6. Nets still down 6 with 6 minutes left in the fourth. Durant trying to bring him back, hits a 3 at the top of the key to cut it to 3 points. But the Heat up 5 with 4 minutes left. Jimmy Butler drives and finds Adebayo for the easy dunk, and the Heat win it 106-93. Adebayo finishes with 24 and 9. Jimmy Butler finishes with 17 and 14, and the Nets are 2 and 3 in spite all of that hype. What's the biggest reason why?
And look, this isn't a shameful loss. The Heat might come out of the East. This is a really good team. But look, when you have James Harden playing like this offensively and he controls the game, controls the ball, and he is struggling like this, you're not going to win games. And I saw a statistic where this is the first time, you got to go back a decade to find the last time James Harden had 3 consecutive games with 15 points or less. A decade. And for me, it's a combination of things. I think some of it is the rule changes, I think, are affecting him a little bit. He's not going to get those calls on the perimeter he is so used to with the up fakes, getting guys to lean in. He's not going to get that call. Steve Nash has alluded to it. He thinks he's being unfairly targeted as the reason for the rule change. And now he's not even getting calls on drives. Is that affecting him a little bit? His aggressiveness? Possibly. But I thought what he said after the game last night was more telling. He said, look, I dealt all offseason with this hamstring, rehabbing it, getting it ready, not playing any 5-on-5 basketball, and he still is reluctant to go full throttle. I understand that. I had a ruptured hamstring at one time in my career, and I remember when I finally got back to 100%, the unwillingness to really push off on that and accelerate and extend. It takes time because you don't trust it, and you do not want to go through that again. It was the first time James Harden was in that shape to finish a season the way he was last year after on one leg, and it's still in his mind, and he told us that after the game last night. So let's give him a little bit more time to get more confidence that his hamstring's going to hold up, and I think you'll see James Harden get back to form offensively, but you can't win games without Kyrie and him struggling like this.
Yeah, without Kyrie, who's still out because of his vaccine hesitancy and the league's policy on that. Another guy who's still out is in Philadelphia, Ben Simmons. This has been a big off-the-court story in the league so far this year. You know, Portland won last night, but it hasn't been super smooth for them. There's been some talk about a possible deal there. What do you think about that?
I think it's a little bit overhyped because people are starting to jump on this Damian Lillard thing because he struggled to start the year, and they're reading too much into it. If you go look at the numbers, if he just shoots 40% from the three, which is what he shot last year, he's averaging 27 points a game right now. We're not even talking about this. Everybody's going to say, oh, Dame is balling. He must be getting along great with Chauncey. Everything is fine. And Damian Lillard's name's not coming up. Now, Philly will bring his name up, people in Philly, because that's the guy apparently that they really want. And I understand that. If you could make that deal, if you're Daryl Morey, you do it tomorrow to bring in Damian Lillard to play with Joel Embiid. I just don't know that there's any real fire there where that smoke is yet. Let's see how Portland's season progresses. If this is a team that's 500 or below, a couple months into the season, will you finally get Damian Lillard go to management, which everybody's been waiting for 3 or 4 years, and say, I want out, this isn't good enough, I want to have a fresh start somewhere else. He hasn't done that yet. Let's see how he gets along with Chauncey, and let's see if they can turn this thing around and start winning some games. He might be perfectly content to stay.
That's weird. I always thought those trade idea calls on Philly Talk Radio were thoroughly researched and completely realistic. So I guess it
turns out not so much.
Turns out not so much. Tip off your weekend with our next star-studded NBA Friday doubleheader on ESPN and the ESPN app. LaMelo Ball and the Hornets taking on Jimmy Butler and the Heat at 7:30 Eastern, and then Luka Doncic and the Mavs square off against.
I think we're up 26 and they cut it to 16. We went to the half, like 2.5 left or something like that. And then that momentum carried into the third quarter. You know, we came out, some tough shots, some turnovers. And they made us come on the other end, you know, with transition, and then, you know, some guys got hot from three. You know, like we say all year, guys gonna play their best. Bays, you know, and you know, some other guys who haven't made shots all year, you know, from 3 and 8. You know, I think Bays like 4 for 8, and you know, some other guys made shots, but you know, this is a game that we're definitely supposed to win, not supposed to lose at all. But we learn from it and, you know, move forward.
Russ, do you have any thoughts on that, just especially in the kind of the second half? And
no, I mean, I agree with AD. We had the game in our hands. And, you know, we lost the game, and simple as that.
What were your thoughts on the ejection?
It is what it is. You know, I don't think I got the first tag. Honestly, the first one wasn't even a tag. The last one was a tag. That's cool, but just how I play the game, and you know, I'm more old school. Shit like that happen, I don't let it slide. So, you know, I take it on the chin and move on. But you know, in the game of basketball, certain things you just don't do. Like in baseball, you don't throw the bat. Certain things you just don't do in sports. Game already over, and I didn't like it. Simple as that.
BT?
Well, both of you guys have been in the league for quite a while. How do you process losing a game like this up by 26? I mean, do you just let it go, move on to the next one, or do you think it over about what you could have done better?
I'm still early in the season, so you know we don't want to dwell on it too much. There's really not much to be said, to be honest. You know, we got a veteran ball club. We know we're not supposed to lose that game. You know, it's a tough one, you know, for sure. Just because this team, you know, was struggling and you know, the way we had the lead, you know, we were up 41-19. And this is you know, not just a game, but, you know, the next couple games where we feel like we can get a rhythm against, you know, teams that are, is the bottom half of the league, I guess. And we're supposed to win this one, but no, it's one. I think it's one that we just flush it. We all know what we're supposed to do. From an individual standpoint and as a team standpoint, and we move on, get ready for Friday. And that's how I think it should be handled. But that we have off tomorrow, going to the rules and come in Friday and have shoot around or whatever the plan is and get ready for our opponent Friday and take all that frustration and reason why we lost the game and out on it.
Are there any moments where, before it got down to the final couple minutes, where you feel like it was a juncture where you guys could have taken back control? I mean, the back-to-back threes with Avery come to mind, or not sure if there are any other points in the game where you thought maybe it could have turned.
It could really turn at any point. Momentum. Shot that could have went in. Melo had great looks, missed them. Bates had a good look in the corner. He made two and missed that one. So, it's a lot of looks that we wish they could have went in, but that's not even